Hello everyone. There are three main types of people in going through life. The first type is people who live without thinking much. The second type is people who want to be happy. The third type is people who live in pain and create pain. People who live mindlessly are either living in the moment without giving their life much thought because they mistake comfort for happiness, or they find it so hard to strive for happiness that they avoid the effort and try not to think about it. If you are living in pain and creating pain, it means you are constantly trying to find happiness in someone or something outside yourself, which is why you are constantly hurting and struggling. Happiness is something that is created by your own mind and can only be felt by yourself. So it has nothing to do with others or anything external, which is why it is said that happiness is something that is close at hand. In the end, mistaking comfort for happiness, avoiding frustration while seeking happiness, and suffering and seeking happiness from others or something external are all because the human mind ultimately seeks happiness. There is an absolute goal of the mind called happiness, but because we do not know the mechanism, we live our lives in a distorted and wrong way. Despite not knowing this mechanism, people constantly look for ways to be happy. There seem to be countless ways, but none of them are right for you if they are derived from other people's experiences and statistics. If you try to find your happiness through other people's methods, you will live in pain no matter how hard you try, because you want something external to you to make you happy. So, what is the ultimate goal in happiness that humans live for? Humans live in pursuit of the meaning of life, which creates feelings of happiness in relationships, and in pursuit of the value of life to develop themselves and increase their values. The meaning of life is not to receive happiness from others, but to create feelings of happiness for oneself by being with others. And the value of life is to share, cooperate, and pursue with others for one's own fulfillment and future happiness. This is called self-actualization, which is to realize what one's heart desires in the world in order to create one's own happiness. Why are we talking about this in the field of Zen psychology? It's because within the human mind is the Zen mind, which is the most fundamental and powerful source of energy in the process of creating happiness. When we seek to obtain happiness from others or external things, instead of developing our own happiness, the energy of our mind is not used to create our own happiness, but instead is used as a means to obtain happiness from others, and the energy is diverted to the other person. This becomes a tremendous amount of energy that destroys both others and yourself. If you don't know how my mind and Zen's mind work, you can combine Zen's energy with your own habits to create your own way of pursuing happiness. But if you don't know how they work, you'll still keep trying to figure it out and decide what works, what doesn't work, what's right, what's wrong based on wrong information. However, we can't and shouldn't discuss what's right and what's wrong because the standard of happiness is different for everyone. The same applies for sexual actions that activate the Zen mind. Some things are institutionalized, some things are perverted, some things are ethical, and these superficial standards are not consistent with the mechanism of true happiness. They cause people to disagree, to argue, and to divide. But if you are happy and others can be happy together, how to be happy doesn't even matter. And this is not something that can be judged by ethics or institutions. We can make ourselves happy by accurately understanding how the human mind and sexuality work. Of course, people you are with can be happy as well, So any method is fine as long as you know the operational mechanisms and have clear standards of your own. And Korean Institute of Psychoeducation provides programs for understanding the operational mechanism of human mind and sexuality and creating habits for your own right standards. People who have been living in suffering for a long time are so used to seeking happiness from others or outside that it has become a habit in their perception, memory, and expression. The process of understanding the mechanism and making efforts to build habits of happiness is the process of treating your wounds and building happiness ability. If you feel that you are hurting because someone else or something external, that feeling is a sign that your mind is begging you to let it create its own happiness.